I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take...
What is up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Math-maticTV. So it's been a long time since my last tutorial, but for now, I'm back and we're going to continue learning mathematics. Today's tutorial, we're going to talk about how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide positive and negative numbers. I know most of us know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide numbers, but I'm not pretty sure if most of us know how to divide, multiply, add, or subtract positive and negative numbers. So we're going to talk about it today. So let's start. When adding integers, we have two cases to consider. So the first, if the sign is both positive, which is if we're going to add positive plus positive, just add the number and copy the sign, so the sign will be still positive. If we're going to add negative plus negative, just add the number and copy the sign, so the sign will be negative. So that's for the case 1. So if we're going to add negative 5 plus negative 3, so again, in adding numbers, if the sign is the same for the case 1, add the number and keep the sign. So it means that we're just going to add these two numbers and keep the sign. So the sign of the resulting answer will be negative, of course. And I know most of us how to add these two numbers. So this will result to 8. And hence, our final answer will be negative 8. This is 8. So, and for the second example, if we're going to add 5 plus 3. So, notice that the sign is the same, which is both positive. So, we're just going to add the number and keep the sign. So, this will result to 8 and the sign is still the same, which is positive. Alright, that's all for the first case. If you are adding a number and the sign is the same, both positive or both negative, just add the number and keep the sign. Okay, let's proceed to the case 2. So for the case 2, if the sign don't match, one is positive and one is negative number, we will subtract the number or as if they were all positive and then use the sign from the larger number. This means that if the larger number is positive, the sign of the answer is positive. If the sign of the larger number is negative, the sign of the final answer is negative. Example, if we're going to add negative 5 plus 3 or 3 plus negative 5, if you notice that they have a different sign, which is one is negative and one is positive. So what we're going to do here is subtract the number based on the rule for the case 2, which is if the sign don't match, one is positive and one is negative, subtract the number and copy the sign of the larger number. So we're going to subtract this number, which is negative 5. We're going to subtract this number, which is 5 minus 3. This will result to 2. Then, what is the sign of the larger number? The sign of the larger number is negative. Of course, the sign of the final answer will be negative. So, in the other form, 3 plus negative 5, again, the sign is different, so we will just subtract the number. So subtracting 5 and 3, the result will be 2. And we will copy the sign of the larger number, which is negative. Hence, this will be our answer. Negative 2. Okay, let's proceed to the second example. For the second example, we have here negative 7 plus 2. Negative 7 plus 2. So, since the sign is different, we will subtract the number. So, this will result to 5 and copy the sign of the larger number, which is negative, since the larger is 7 and the sign is negative. Hence, this will be the sign. Or, in the third example, if we're going to add negative 2 plus 7. So now, the sign of the larger number is positive and the sign of the smaller number is negative. Therefore, the sign of the resulting answer is positive. And their sign is not the same. Therefore, we're going to subtract the number. Subtracting 7 and 2, the result will be 5. And hence, our answer is positive 5. Alright, that's all for the case 2. And now, we're going to proceed to the subtraction. So, for the subtraction of negative, we will change the problem to an addition problem, which we can then subtract using the above methods. So what it means is, example, if we are adding subtracting a minus b, we will add the number and add the opposite of b. So this will become plus negative b. The opposite of positive b is negative b, and this is still the same. Now, we will back in adding numbers, which is in the first part of the video, which is we are adding numbers with different sign and the same sign. So, we will apply this method in this case, or we can also directly subtract a number. Example, if we're going to subtract 5 minus 3, so this is still the same here, which is a minus b. Then let's say a is 5, then b is 3, so this will result to 2. However, in this case, which is we add the opposite of b, which is negative, so this will become 5 plus negative 3. So if you recall, in the first topic, which is the addition of a number, which is the sign is negative and positive, so we will apply this in this part, which is 5 plus negative 3. Since the sign is not the same, we will subtract the number, which is will result to 2, and copy the sign of the larger number, which is the sign of 5, which is 2. And notice that they are still the same. So that's what it means in the rule of the subtraction. The way we change a subtraction to an addition is to add the opposite of the number after the subtraction sign. Often this method is referred to add the opposite. Example number 2, which is negative 4 and negative 8. So negative 4 minus 8. Again, we will interchange this problem into negative 4 plus the opposite of 8, which is negative 8. Now, we will add these two numbers. If you notice that their sign is the same, the rule of addition, this is case 1, which is negative 4 plus negative 8. This is the case 1, what I mentioned earlier in my explanation in addition, which is if the sign is the same or the number in keep the sign. I hope you remember. So what we will do here is we will just copy the sign, which is negative, and add the number, which is 4 plus 8. I know most of us know how to add this, which is 12. So hence, this will be the answer. So for the third example, 9 minus negative 4. So again, we will interchange this number into 9 minus. The opposite of 4 is of negative 4 is positive 4. So this will be plus 4. So this will result to 13. If we recall, for the case 1 of addition of a numbers, for the case 1 that if the sign is the same, just add the number and keep the sign. Therefore, 9 plus 4 is equal to 13. We will just simply add and copy the sign, which is positive. Or we can say that we can multiply or distribute the negative here, which is negative times negative is positive. So this will become 9 plus 4. So for the last example, minus negative 2. So again, we will interchange this number. So this will become negative 6 plus the opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. So now we were adding, we will back in addition. So negative 6 plus positive 2. So if you notice that the sign is different, therefore this is case 2 in addition. So in the case 2, if the sign is different, just subtract the number and copy the sign of the larger number. So what we will do here is subtract these 2 and copy the sign of the larger number. So therefore, the sign of the resulting answer here is negative, since the sign of the larger number, which is 6, is negative. And if we're going to subtract 6 and 2, the result will be 4. That's all for addition and subtraction. Multiplication and division of integers both work in a very similar pattern. The short description of the process is we multiply and divide like normal. If the sign match, which is both positive or both negative, the answer is positive. If the signs don't match, just like one is positive and one is negative, then the answer is negative. In multiplying number and dividing number, we're just going to multiply and divide the number just like normal. But if we are multiplying sign, which is a negative times negative, the resulting sign will be positive always. Always remember that if you are multiplying and dividing the same sign, the result is always positive. It's like plus times plus is equal to plus also. And negative times positive is always negative. Positive times negative is still negative. This is still the same in division. If we're going to divide negative divided by negative, still positive. Positive divided by positive, of course, it's positive. Negative divided by positive, it's negative. And positive divided by negative is still negative. Okay, let's proceed to the example. If we are multiplying like 4 times negative 6, just simply multiply the number. I know most of us know how to multiply, of course. So this will equal to 24. But wait, what will be the sign of the answer? Of course, it's obvious that negative, since we are multiplying number with a different sign. So the sign will be negative. So if we're going to divide negative 36 and negative 9, which is negative 36 over negative 9, the result will be, just simply divide the number, which is 4, and the result will still positive. Since we are dividing number with both the same sign, which is negative and negative, negative times negative is positive. Always remember that. So for the third example, we have here negative 2 times negative 6, negative 2 times negative 6. So we can also rewrite this into negative 2 times negative 6. So this is still the same. So just simply multiply the number. So 2 times 6 is equal to 12, and the sign will be still positive. So for the example number 4, which will be our last example, which is 15 over negative 3. We can rewrite this into 15 divided by negative 3. So the sign is different, but we will still going to divide this number just like normal. So the result will be equal to 5, and the sign will be negative, of course, since we are dividing number with different sign. The division and multiplication is just an opposite. If we are multiplying, then we are dividing. Example, 15 divided by 3 is 5. Then if we're going to multiply 5 and 3, the result will be 15. If we're going to divide 15 and 5, the result will be 3. And if we're going to multiply 5 and 3 is 15. So if we're going to multiply 2 and 6, the result is 12. But if we divide 12 and 2, the result is 6. If we divide 12 and 6, the result is 2. So if we are dividing 36 and 9, the result is 4. And if we're going to multiply these two, the result is 36. Then if we multiply 4 and 6, the result is 24. Then if we're going to divide 6 and 24, the result will be 4. So, alright, that's all for addition, subtraction, and multiplication, division of a positive and negative numbers. So alright, that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And please share your thoughts about it by commenting below. And if you learned something today, please give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you want to see the other videos, link in the description below. And please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. Stay tuned and see you on my next video. Thanks and God bless.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I'll make mistakes, but mistakes make you strong.